Hello, this is Ken Latham. I am the design guy signing on. Okay, Dick, Mary, here's where we're at on your project with looking at doing some new landscaping, adding siding, changing up sidings. So, what Mary and myself have talked about is using the shake siding for a lot of the house, and then we're using some board and batten, like the green siding, which is just an accent that's going to be used at the front only. Now, we are using some wider trim boards going around the house as well. So let me zoom back out here and let's swing around just a little bit. So this is the front. Looks quite a bit different than before. I was looking at using an accent color, or excuse me, a color close to what the siding is in the tan range, using the white as trim boards as an accent color. Again, for the green here and here, we're looking at using the board and batten siding just to make that area pop and draw your front attention literally towards that front door, as opposed to trying to go up and your eyes being drawn to what's up above with the roofs up above. Okay, so let's swing this around a little bit. So what we were looking at here was you're redoing that porch. Then we're looking at putting a fountain in and a planter possibly, with the water coming in from pipes from the wall and possibly from the planter as well. Then we come back up here. We were looking at putting a gate in with columns on the side. The wall here is not drawn as tall as it would be. If I put it up there as of right now, we really would not be able to look over and look down into that area very well. Alright, I'm going to take this and I'm going to swing it on around to the right. And let's zoom back in and let's look at that fountain area again. So looking at that from the courtyard, what we're looking at doing is having the wall start right underneath of where your trim board is to the top here. So here what we're looking at doing is bringing this down at an angle, which is a 5/12 pitch, which is essentially the same as what you've got on the house. So every foot that it goes across here, it's going up 5 inches. That's what we're looking at. These that I've put on the wall here are just accent hangings. It's not something that you need to have. I was just looking at that. These I had hanging by cable. So something just as a decoration. Mary was talking about possibly doing some type of a hanging, I think, over by the fountain. So when she was talking about doing something over in here, I was just thinking maybe we could do something in a couple other areas as well. And swing this back out, and I'm going to zoom back out through the trees. Then one of the other things that we were talking about, and I'm going to get rid of the trees here for just a second, just to make things easier to see. So what I've done here is I've got a trim board coming across to cap off that board and batten siding. So we've got the stone coming down here, running across and back up. So I think that's going to help to accent and be able to bring in the views here. But what I've also done was this trim board that I was talking about a moment ago. Here, this actually is going to continue on around the house. Here it really is acting as an accent. When I get to the back of the house, let's rotate on around, it actually starts to help break up the siding a little bit different. On the back sides, what we're looking at using is the vertical panel from Hardy Plank. Those come up to 10-foot lengths. So what we're looking at here is being able to make that all one piece of siding going up. So from here to here would be just one piece of siding. And then from down below that deck to there would be one piece of siding. Same thing over here, just one piece of siding. If you look at your house now, is where that goes across, and it just has metal coming across there. Okay, when I go back to the front of the house, This is what I'm talking about. That is a metal channel that would be separating the two sidings because they can't get to be but so tall. In this case, y'all had real wood, so they probably had longer pieces. They could probably get those up to 16 or 18 feet. Now, when we go to the hardy plank or the hardy vertical siding, that's going to be only up to 10 foot in length. So that's the reason I was looking at using these accent boards. So what we would have here would be a 12-inch board. Here I'm using a 3.5-inch board, which would just break right at the top of that door. Let's rotate this on around a little bit more. And zoom in up by the clear story. what I'm looking at here is that 1x4 board that's coming around is going to give us a place to break and add some interest to that siding, because otherwise you're going to have similar to what we were looking at before with that piece of metal going across. Zoom back out. Of course, we're still showing the deck. As we talked about before, we are using the vertical siding here as a rail to stop people from falling off of the deck above to the lower deck, and the deck out here to the very outside is going to be used more so for blocking. We ran these steps all the way across here, so that way there's no need for a rail through that section. Let's rotate this one around some more. And what I did here is I stopped this 1x4 board at the corner board. There's really no sense in running that across these windows. That's really not going to do us a lot of good. It's going to just create another break, and the less breaks we have, the better. Then let's bring this on around a little bit more. Kind of do a flyover from above. Without the trees in here for the time being, I think you'll get a better idea of what we're looking at for the fountain, and more of what we're looking at having for the concrete up into here for your flagstone up into here. Okay, here I'm going to flip over to the floor plan just so you get an idea of what we're looking at here. This is all what we just saw in 3D. So we're looking at planting areas here, your gate coming in between your columns, that wall coming on around here. Then also we're looking at these steps going down through here. This is going to be a gravel, similar to what you have now, pea gravel, running back towards the back. And then if I come into here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to overlay what the landscape person had done for you. So that's the drawing that was done previous. So I'm just using those as approximate locations. Now, as you can see here, the garage is off a little bit. Everything's at such different angles there, it'd be near impossible for them to get it anyway. So you can see the gate was shown here. Now we've moved that gate on around a little bit farther because we do have the bushes through here, and then the fountain here. Now the stuff that's in white is actually the rocks that I had originally, or excuse me, that were in her drawing. So let's go back to just that floor plan. And I think that probably gives you a pretty good idea of where we're at as of right now. So very good. This is Ken Latham, the design guy. I am signing off, and I'll be waiting to hear back from you. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye now.